What if I told you the only thing standing between you and the life God has planned for you is your fear? That's right, fear is holding you back, but it doesn't have to. Fear shows up in all kinds of ways. Maybe it's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or even the fear of the unknown. It can feel so powerful that it stops you in your tracks, keeping you from stepping out in faith. But here's the thing. 2 Timothy 1:7 tells us, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." If fear isn't from God, why are we letting it control us? Think about Peter for a moment. When Jesus called him to walk in the water in Matthew 14, he started off fine, but as soon as he looked at the wind and the waves, he let fear creep in, and that's when he began to sink. The fear wasn't stronger than Jesus' call. It was Peter's focus on the storm that caused him to stumble. The same goes for us. If we keep focusing on the things that makes us anxious or unsure, we'll miss out on the incredible things God has in store for us. The enemy loves to use fear to paralyze us. He wants us to believe we aren't good enough, that we'll never succeed, or that we're bound to fail. But God says the opposite, and Isaiah 41:10 reminds us, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." God is walking with us through every storm, every challenge, and every unknown. Fear doesn't have the final say. God does. So, what can we do about it? First, we need to recognize when fear is taking control. Pay attention to those moments when you feel stuck or hesitate to take a step forward. Ask yourself, is this fear or is this wisdom? Because fear often disguises itself as something reasonable, but wisdom leads to peace, not paralysis. Second, we need to confront fear with God's truth. Every time fear tells you you can't, counter it with the promises of God. Joshua 1:9 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Remind yourself that you are not alone in this. God's got your back. Lastly, step out in faith even when it's uncomfortable. Faith isn't about the absence of fear. It's about trusting God enough to move forward in spite of it. When we take that step, no matter how small, we give God the opportunity to show up in powerful ways. He's ready to open doors, but we have to be willing to walk through them. Don't let fear keep you from the blessings God has prepared for you. Take the leap. Trust His promises. You'll be amazed at what He can do when you stop letting fear hold you back.